Welcome back, once again adventurers, to Let's Play Steins Gate 0. In the last episode, Maho Hyajo challenged Rintaro in an argument. But at this point Rintaro is entirely adamant. He does not want to go off into the universe searching for Steins Gate. He wants to remain in the beta world line that exists as a result of what happened after he arrived back from the alpha world line. Unfortunately, in the midst of their heated argument, it seems that Mayuri was planning on visiting the lab as well, and a message from Ruka via Ryan has revealed that, well, she might have overheard that argument and has laid all the blame on herself. So Rintaro has to find her. I needed to find Mayuri. I couldn't let her be alone right now. Once again, it's all falling apart for Rintaro Okabe. I ran out of the lab. Things just got worse, but it seems like we're switching to Suzuha's perspective on the roof of the radio building once again. That's because it's summer, and summers are usually incredibly hot. The summer solstice had passed, and by 6 p.m. the sun was finally setting behind the city's skyline. Part of the sky was still red, and the rest a dirty blue. For the past few days, Suzuha had worked on the time machine on top of the radio building. It was almost time for her to go back to the past, which meant that she was putting a lot more effort into the maintenance work. Well, as much as she can, given the fact that the time machine can't necessarily be repaired by 2010 technology. Parts which could normally get dirty with no trouble have been polished to a sparkling shine. But for Suzuha Mane, her window of opportunity is gradually dwindling. She finished her work, put her tools back in the box, and stored the box in the time machine's cockpit. Then she sat down in the control seat and took another look at the battery gauge. With the amount of fuel she had left, in less than a month she would be able to go back to July 27th, 2010. She had to leave this era before that time limit passed her by, because time waits for no one. The original plan of taking Rintaro to the past looked like it was going to fail. That meant she would have to go on the mission that she'd spent the last year coming up with all by herself. Very bold of you, Suzuha. Suzuha lamenting Daru once again. She chuckled to herself and stuck her hand deep into the computer core. Inside was an external hard drive that clearly belonged to 2011, not 2036. Daru had probably put it in here when her back was turned. One of the secondary touch panel monitors was displaying a warning that read, "Foreign object displayed in cockpit." These machines were capable of breaking through early 20th century camouflage in less than a second. It was clear from the way that the fake wires were laid out that monitoring and data retrieval were not its objectives. Once again, you're terrible at finding convenient hiding places, Daru. He probably hidden it here because he didn't want anyone to find it. Maybe she should just pretend she didn't see it and leave it here until she was just about to leave. Well, she can't really do that. As she pondered the best course of action, she heard the heavy door outside opening.
Oh.
Someone's outside. Someone was here. Suzuha pulled her gun out from its holster and looked out from the cockpit toward the iron door that led to the building. She remembered what happened with Kaguri the other day. It couldn't hurt to be careful, because she is still out there. But when she saw who it was, she relaxed.
Mayu 姉さん、珍しいね。ここへ来るなんて。
Mayuri. And she is understandably very upset. So this is where she is. She put her gun away and jumped out of the cockpit to welcome her.
Suzu-san. Oh? 泣いてるの？何があった？
A lot has happened, Suzuha. Suzuha had no idea why the always smiling Mayuri would be crying. But we know the truth.
どうしてみんなは教えてくれなかったのかな？
There's one thing that Mayuri doesn't like above all else. It's being kept out of the loop.
え？クリスさんっていう人とマユシーとの本当のこと教えてくれなかったのかな？
In all honesty, Mayuri, it's because Rintaro Okabe thought that he was protecting you from that truth. But just like on the Alpha World line, his efforts were completely and utterly in vain. She almost spoke, but quickly cut herself off. How did she hear, and from whom, the cruel truth that Mayuri's survival depended on Kurisu Makase's death? There was nothing in the world Suzuha had wanted to see less than the look on Mayuri's face when she discovered that.
誰に聞いたの？
It's not that she was told directly, it's that she overheard. But there were only a few people who knew the truth. Excluding herself, only Rintaro, Daru, Ferris, and Maho. And none of them would deliberately tell her, "You're not wrong there, Suzuha." None of them would deliberately tell her. And yet Mayuri knows all the same. In fact, they'd all hidden it for her sake.
オカリンと真帆さんが話しているのを聞いちゃった。
Then it was an accident after all, but a fatal one at that.
ねえ、すずさん、お話聞いてもいい？
And now that Mayuri knows that much,
2036年のマユシーとオカリンのこと。
Suzuha wasn't sure what to say. To be honest, she didn't want to say anything at all. It wasn't something that would make her feel better, after all. It is the future.
未来のことは知らない方が幸せだよ。
Another line of tears spilled down Mayuri's cheek.
マユシーなんてね、この世界にいても何の役にも立たないよ。
No, that's not true, Mayuri Shina. You are Kaguri's guardian and protector. That should at least count for that is a definite.
クリスさんの方が世界のためにもオカリンのためにもずっと必要なんだよ。
And yet Rintaro risked his very sanity countless times in the Alpha World line to try and keep Mayuri alive. Suzuha suddenly felt like she was looking at the Mayuri she'd known in the future. She thought of the big sis Mayu that she had seen ever since she was a little girl, and she couldn't refuse her request.
私の知ってる未来のマユ姉さんも時々そう言ってた。そんな時は決まってぼんやりと空を眺めてるんだ。
Even after 25 years.
すごく寂しそうで切なそうだったよ。私もかがりもマユ姉さんのそんな顔を見るのが辛かった。
Just as Mayuri hates seeing Rintaro in pain.
かがり？
It was only then that she'd remembered that she'd been keeping Kaguri a secret from Mayuri. Excuse me. I really hate sneezing into the microphone there. But, yeah. Mayuri doesn't know about Kaguri in this, at this point in time.
かがりっていう名前の女の子がいたんだ。戦災孤児でさ、マユ姉さんが引き取ったんだ。だからマユ姉さんの娘っていうことになる。
In other words, Mayuri Shina, you were never a burden whatsoever on the
マ
world.
ユシーの娘。
You adopted her, but she is yours.
優しくてでも強い子でね。まだこんなに小さいうちからいつも言ってた。ママを守るのは自分だって。
You were the one who gave her hope for the better future, Mayuri.
そんな子だったから母親であるマユ姉さんが寂しそうにしてるのはかなり答えてたはず。そういえば7月7日、今日って七夕って言うんだってね。
Curious change of subject there, Suzuha.
私は子供の頃にマユ姉さんから教わったんだ。織姫と彦星が年に一度会うことができる日だって。
Ah, yes, that old fable.
大気汚染がひどくて星なんて見えない時代だったけど、マユ姉さんは言ってたよ。雲が夜空を覆っていても星は世界から消えちゃうわけじゃない。雲の向こうで変わらずに輝き続けてるの。
That they are, Mayuri, future Mayuri of the future. Indeed they are.
一緒にお祈りしようね。 そんなまゆ姉さんの言葉が私やかがりには希望になったんだ。それだけは知っておいてほしい。
Indeed. You were the bright shining star of
少なく
the
とも
future.
私やかがりにとってはまゆ姉さんが必要だった。それにオカリンおじさんだって死ぬまでまゆ姉さんのことを大事にしてたんだ。まゆ姉さんの幸せのことばかり考えていたんだ。死ぬまで。あ、
You should have, yeah, put a little bit more thought into that and not let that slip out. Although, it's not really a spoiler at this point in time if you've been following my Let's Play thus far, but, not everything is as it seems about that. Maybe that was another cruel truth for her, but Suzuha decided that she would hold nothing back now,
そうだよ。
even if it brings more pain and
オカリンお
misery.
じさんは今から15年後までしか生きられない。まゆ姉さんをかばって死ぬんだ。嘘。
Yeah,
オカリンお
this
じ
is
さ
only
んは
going to make matters
最後
worse.
にこう言ってたって父さんに後から聞いた。まゆりの命を助けることができて本当に良かった。自分はまゆりを守るために生きてきたんだから。
Indeed, he has, challenged fate itself in order to keep Mayuri alive.
そんな。
To keep the world line itself from killing her. Mayuri put both her hands over her mouth.
でもまゆ姉さんはそのことをずっと引きずっていたんだろうな。
Well, since we're holding nothing back,
私たちには見えないところでこっそり七夕の空を見上げてつぶやいてた。
another flashback of the
あの
future.
日私の彦星様が復活していたら全てが変わっていたのかな。
Would it indeed?
あの日私の彦星様私の
But it seems that Mayuri is even more upset than she was before. Mayuri was repeating the words to herself. The tears were still pouring down her face. But her sad cries finally came to a stop. She was still shaking, but her voice had gotten quiet.
どういうことなのかな。
私今ならわかる気がする。1年前私オカリンおじさんの態度に本気でムカついたんだ。
I seem to remember that was being the case.
チャンスが目の前にあるのになんで諦めるんだって。
That's because, things are not as simple as they first
そんなオカ
appear.
リンおじさんをかばって甘やかしてるまゆ姉さんのことも本当は許せなかったんだよね。でもさ、この1年ここで暮らしてみて感じたんだ。あの時間違ってたのは私の方だったって。今なら あの日のオカリンおじさんともっとちゃんと話せるかもしれない。
It seems that Suzuha has finally come to terms with Rintaro's own pain on some level.
あの日。
それでうまく説得できるかどうか、そこまでは自信ないんだけどね。
Of course, the one thing that was weighing down upon his mind and conscience at that time was having to go through the exact same experience with Mayuri on the Alpha World line, except with Kurisu on the Beta World line. As the sun set in the west, the shadow of the time machine lengthened, and Suzuha's along with it.
私に残されたチャンスはあと一度だけ。
After that,
それなら未来のマユ姉さんの言葉にかけてみようと思う。マキセ・クリスが殺された日じゃなく、マユ姉さんの言ってたあの日へ飛んで。
so you're going back to the day that
マユ姉さんの望みを
before.
叶えられるかどうか試してみる。
マユシーの望み。
Suzuha gently rubbed Mayuri's tiny little shoulders.
それがシュタインズゲートへ向かう鍵だって信じてみる。シュタインズゲートを開くことができるのは彦星をやめちゃった普通の星じゃなくって、マユ姉さんの彦星しかいないような気がするからさ。つまり私が新たに考案したミッションは、
Reading Steiner may be a very potent ability, even for one such as Rintaro Okabe. However, as we know, reading Steiner alone cannot open Steins Gate.
彦星の復活。
But I actually have to question, what is this in aid of? Because everything took place on the 28th. Oh well, I mean, going back to the 27th means that you're perfectly positioned to, well, wait and see, but intervening beforehand probably will cause a causality effect. And of course, it goes without saying, if Suzuha actually prevented, there are still too many unknown variables that can and might very well go wrong, is the point that I'm trying to make.
父さん流に言うなら、オペレーションアルタイルとかオペレーションアークライトとか。
You probably would, at that.
それともアルタイルとアークライトを結ぶって意味でオペレーションデネブかな。父
Doesn't
さん
really
ほどの
matter
セン
what
ス
the
は
name is, Suzuha.
私にはないみたいだ。
The only one who was good at coming up with operation names was Hoin Kiyoma. Even if nobody cared. Mayuri tried to draw herself up as best she could on wobbling legs.
すずさん、そのオペレーションマユシーにやらせて。
It seems like Mayuri is wanting to take on Suzuha and Rintaro's burden on her own shoulders. Although of course it goes without saying that that very decision will break Rintaro's heart even more than it already is. Suzuha stared at the girl in front of her, unable to believe what she just heard.
これは危険な賭けだ。私の考えが間違ってて失敗するだけかもしれない。タイムマシンにも限界が来てて、いつ制御不能になるかわからない。そのまま消滅してしまうかもしれない。
It could even be a gelatinous mess, but who knows?
それでもお願い。
But it seems like Mayuri is resolved to the end.
マユシーだってラボメンなんだよ。オカリンとダル君に助けてもらってばっかりなのはもう嫌だよ。
If Rintaro was here right now, he would tell you that you have never not done anything for them, if that's the right way of putting it. Mayuri rubbed her eyes hard and wiped away her tears. Life was slowly returning to her frail body.
マユシーね、オカリンのことが好き。
The truth will out.
クリスさんと同じぐらい。違う、絶対にクリスさんに負けないくらいずっと大好き。だけど私は法院京馬がもっと大好きなの。
Well, by that logic, you're not wrong when you say that you care for Rintaro more than Kurusu does, because as much as Kurusu cared for Rintaro, she could not stand his alter ego of Hoin Kyoma. However, Mayuri holds both deep within her heart and soul.
私がおばあちゃんを亡くしてこの世界から消えてなくなっちゃいそうになってた時、そんな私に向かってこの世界にずっといろって言って救ってくれたの。
That was the day when Hoin Kyoma was first born into this world by Rintaro Okabe, in order to keep Mayuri from disappearing. Of course, he also made Mayuri his hostage in exchange, so...
それが彼なの。私の彦星様なの。私ね、もう一度彼に会いたい。あの偉そうな高笑いをまた聞きたい。たとえ私が織姫様になれないって分かってても、それでも私にとっての彦星様はこれまでもこれからもずっと彼以外にはいないんだもん。法院京馬に会いたいよ。
The girl who could never be Orihime shouted all of her feelings to the world at the top of her lungs. And it might be a bit cruel of me to actually mention this now of all times, but at the moment when Rintaro first returned to the Beta World line, after deleting that very first email, It was none other than Mayuri Shina herself that said that he didn't have to pretend to be Hoin Kiyoma just for her sake. But it seems that a lot has changed since that moment in time. And right in that instant, Suzuha heard a sound from her cell phone that she'd never heard before.
これは
What could this be indeed? It was the sound of a video message. When she saw the sender and subject line, Suzuha gasped.
これ未来からのムービーメール
A video message from the future. Barrel FG Mail. Huh. And it seems like we're back with Rintaro outside of the building. It seems like he is ready to start a search for the, well, from his perspective, they're still missing Mayuri, although Mayuri is not missing at all, as we've all just witnessed. When we return, adventurers, we shall see Rintaro's search for Mayuri, and whether he is actually successful in finding her, if he manages to figure out where she is. As always, adventurers, until next we meet.